Hello, everybody. This is the next installment of my personal reading history, which I thought I'd try video format because I wanted to share a few visuals with you. So here we have 5 volumes of Will Durant's Story of Civilization, and part of my reading challenge to read all the books in our home library would include reading all 11 volumes of Story of Civilization. So I'm on number 7, but I recently finished number 6, The Reformation, and you can see that 900 pages covering 300 years. Well, that could get very tedious if I tried to write a commentary, and you would be very bored. So instead, I thought I'd talk about 3 things that I think are important when I read a history survey like this or any survey. And those 3 things are imagination, pictures and maps, and timelines. So imagination, pretty obvious. Just helps to have a really active and fertile imagination when you're reading history. So you can picture the events, you can be a part of the era, so you can walk in the shoes of the hero or heroine. The second thing, pictures and maps, pictures, sometimes help you get your imagination working. Sometimes they correct your imagination, but they also help bring the history alive. They're really important. The maps, where did something happen? I was reading about Tamerlane, Timur the Lame, and he went to Samarkand. So I knew where he was, but I didn't know where Samarkand was. And history obviously happens all over the world, so it's a good thing if we know where we are, and that also helps keep the history alive for us. So I like to make my maps sometimes. So I traced these of Greece when I was reading about ancient Greece, and then I put the ancient place names on there. And I made this little one, traced that on onion skin, perfect. And for this, the Roman Empire, I took this right out of Durant's book, copied it, and colored it in. And while I was coloring, I could memorize the names, Pannonia, Thracia, Dacia. I could see where the boundaries are of the different parts of the empire. And it was a good study tool as I made that map. This little guy was a find. I found this on Lower Broadway in Manhattan. And this is a history atlas. And as you can see, it really does the job for you. So, for example, there's Europe in 1914. And you don't have to go through all the fuss and bother. Okay? Now, timelines. Now, you may think that this is a cupcake carrier from the Silos Bakery, and that's exactly what it is. And by the way, inside it did have cupcakes and that little chocolate guy. I think I'll eat him when we're finished. So one day I was very frustrated with the whole, all the dates jumbling around in my head. And I said, I need a timeline. So I got the bright idea to cut up this carrier, take the bottom out, and create a timeline. This is a volume 4 of the Story of Civilization, Age of Faith. That was a particularly big book. And so you see, I retained the carriers of the cupcake. And here we go. And there's my timeline. Pencil and a ruler. That's all you need. And always work in pencil. And then there are my dates. And again, a visual of what came first, what came second, what comes later. And then at a glance, I can look and say, okay, when was the Great Schism? Oh, it was 1054, but the Crusades didn't start until 1095. I don't have to lug out the book. I don't have to go through the index. At a glance, good study aid while I'm making it, and a perfect reference tool in the process. So those are the 3 things: imagination, maps and pictures, and timelines. And by the way, if you get those cupcakes, you don't want to throw this insert away, because I'm sure all of us have a lot of stuff like this sitting around, basically junk. So we can take this, all this yin-yangs and knickknacks, and we put them in this container. And you might even find a little pair of pink sunglasses that you want to keep. Put them right in there. And then you can be well organized while you are reading history. So thank you for watching.